On the point of AI, I want to know about how is the role of human work going to change? Right, we already have. I saw a few weeks ago there was like this robot AI nurse, pretty much. That's a
Yeah.
nurse, but AI, and there are many AIs that are doing all these different jobs and roles. So what's left for us humans? How do you think? We're just predicting. You understand this, so what do you think the roles of humans and the new jobs that are going to come out of this?
To be very accurate about
Mhm.
automation, because there's so many statistics out there about automation taking away jobs and all that. In reality, to be more accurate, automation has already started to create new roles and new jobs. There are at least 10 future jobs already in the market right here, right now. And some of these jobs, excuse me, are not very common to most people because they are emergent and not a lot of people are aware that they do have so much potential to ride the wave and really thrive in the new economy and look at new jobs, because everybody's still looking at the jobs that they are familiar with, but they're not
Mhm.
looking at the new roles that are emerging due to the fast growing technologies and innovation when it comes to automation and AI. Like I mentioned, there are 10 future jobs right here, right now, that not everybody's going to school to study or are aware that they exist. Some of these jobs are automation economists, AI trainer, business process automation programmer, chatbot copywriter, machine learning engineer, chief listening officer, that people don't know what that is.
Right.
There's a robot technician, there are tech ethicists, and many others that are still emerging. So that said, there are many opportunities for employment in the new economy. And if we look at the data, new data reveals that there are 96 jobs across 7 professional clusters that are fast emerging in tandem, reflecting digital and human factors that are driving growth in the future of work. And all of these reflect the adoption of new technologies, like increasing demand for new green economy jobs, roles at the forefront of data and AI economy, as well as new roles in engineering, cloud computing, product development. So the problem is people with low educational attainment are going to be the most at risk
Yep.
due to automation and the rise of robotics in the workplace. So education and training are critical problems to be solved to close the
Mhm.
skill gap by developing the professional competences that are needed to fulfill these new roles. The growth and the absolute scale of these opportunities will really be determined by the choices and the investments that are made by companies, by educational institutions, and by governments as well. So the potential is there, the new roles are there. We just need to really get people more educated and more trained for these specific jobs and let them understand more what's happening in the economy. A lot of people are in the dark about what's really going on. If you're not specialized in a certain area, you don't even hear about these jobs. You don't understand
Oh.
that those things exist, let alone you knowing that you have an opportunity to go get a training and get an incredible job that's not what the traditional educational system is necessarily providing you. So you don't need to go get a degree, but you can maybe go get a specialized certification to be able to get one of these jobs, because now you're going to have much higher a chance to fulfill this role because you have the exact skills that it takes to fulfill that role and to perform at your best.
Wow. Yeah, I will say I never thought of it that way. That like you're right about the issue that people who might be impacted are people who do not have high education attainment. You said it. That creates new roles for us to teach new people, and education is going to be even more important and going to have an even bigger role. And maybe that may be where people can get jobs in the future too. And
I think that
Absolutely.
role falls upon the government in some way, because if they are going to start implementing in their economy like automation and AI, they're obviously going to benefit from that because the economy is going to grow. In that sense, if they want to increase the participation of the people, they're going to have to educate and provide the opportunities of education to the local populace. Yeah.
100%. It's really the different sectors. You have the private sector that's also responsible because you have companies that are evolving and how they operate by implementing technology. So they have a big responsibility when it comes to upskilling and training their workers to be able to fulfill these new roles. That's actually one of the core initiatives that we do when we're working with companies and implementing technologies with them, is to make sure that there's a whole training program that's set up to elevate the quality and educational level and really bring people up to date with the skills in order to stay. So they don't have to do these major layoffs if they actually start to invest in the upskilling and training of their workers. And then you have the government, of course, that needs to be investing in their own workers and also facilitating the job for companies and for educational institutions to set up these kind of curriculums to help upskill and train and give the right education for people. So it has to be a collaborative effort between the different sectors, especially with COVID-19. I want to mention that with COVID-19 specifically, the way companies and industries conduct their businesses around the world have permanently changed. And one of the biggest impacts is related to automation, since businesses had to adapt to the sudden changes in the market. And without automation, to be honest, I mean, if we really want to be very realistic, it's highly unlikely that the changes and adapting to the change is highly unlikely to happen efficiently and profitably without automation. So all that said, it means that these roles that are emerging now are not going to be optional anymore. They are going to be critical. So we just need to really get people to understand what's happening in the market a little bit more, besides just freaking them out about COVID-19 and other things. They need to really know how they could function in the new economy with all the changes that are going on. And I think there's a lot of effort that needs to happen there in terms of bringing awareness and giving hope to people rather than keep spreading these dystopic messages about the world.
Literally. I mean, you're blowing my mind right now, Rania. Honestly, like all this information you're saying, I wish that was on the news, and I wish, I had this information to tell my little cousin what kind of job he should get. So literally, I'm going to send this podcast to him so he can really know what to do, because what you're saying is so real and it's so true, but it's also, I've never heard it. This is the first time I'm hearing all this, so